Today, I am so excited to show you my weekly reset routine. This is something I do every single Sunday to just get prepared for the week and plan for anything that is coming. And it's so good because I feel like there's no better feeling than the feeling of having your life together. And I want you to have that too. So I have created a free Notion template that you can download. I will leave the link in the description so you can follow along as I walk you through my weekly reset. So let's just dive straight in. Okay, so when you open the template, this is what it looks like. I have divided my life into 4 different categories of organization. So the first one is to review your life in general. And there are 4 different ways that I like to do a life review in general. This is just to give me an idea of what is going on in my life, how everything's feeling. Instead of just rushing into planning what I want to do this week, it really gives me an idea of what I need to actually be working on. So the first part is to track the life arenas. And life arenas is something that I got from Brendon Burchard. And basically what you do is you track 10 different categories of your life on a scale of 1 to 10 every single week. So I have got 10 different categories. You can create whatever categories you want, but I have created physical health, mental health, love, family, friendship and connection, business, finances, mindset and identity, and hobbies. And then once I've rated them all on a scale of 1 to 10, and generosity and contribution, that's number 10. And once I have rated them all on a scale of 1 to 10, I also then add up all of the scores and I give myself an overall life satisfaction score. Now, this doesn't mean exactly how happy I am with my life, but it just gives me a general idea of which areas I want to be working on and how happy I am overall. So, how it works is if I go to the top, I will click on new and I can write in a number. So let's say, how am I feeling about my physical health this week? I'm going to give myself a 10. And the reason I'm giving a 10 is because I recently had a scan and found out that I wasn't sick with something I thought I was sick with, which has given me a really new experience of life. And I'm very, very grateful. And I realized, why am I not rating myself a 10 out of 10 healthy when I really am pretty healthy? And I think I used to be rating myself, as you can see in this area, quite a lot lower. You can see the moment when I had that scan, when everything changed in my mind, because I think that before I was rating myself on the ideal of what I wanted to be, and now I'm rating myself on like the ideal that I truly think is attainable. And then if I go above that, you will see in some of the other categories, I've got 11s and 12s. So I think in my mind, my perfect ultimate ideal health is more like a 15 out of 10. So if I reach that, that's great. But for now, I'm just so grateful that I am not sick in any way and I'm feeling pretty good. So I will give myself a 10 and then I'm going to date it. I'm going to put the date that it is and I might leave a comment. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to do it right now, but that is what I would do. Then if I click onto data here, I will be able to see exactly what comments I've made in the past. So in the past there, I was talking about getting more sleep and how I felt so much better and haven't been sleeping so late. So that is how you do it for every single category. You can go through and rate all of them. And after a while, you're going to start to see some trends. So the reason that I actually track this is less about the general tracking and more about asking myself each week, what do I need to improve to go to an 11, to go to a 12 or a 10 if I'm not there yet? What do I actually need to change? And I will write that in as well. So I will add up all the scores and then I'm going to give myself an overall score. As you can see, I have pretty much increased my score over time. It has kind of been a little up and down recently, but only really small changes. And so it's improved a lot from when I first started in November of last year, I believe it was. Yeah, November 2024. I was only 68 and now I am an 87 in August of 2025, which I think is a huge improvement. And that has been because I've been deliberately working on each area of my life. So that is how I do the life arenas. Once I have tracked all of my life arenas, I go and review my progress on my current goals. So these are actually my real goals. They are not fake. This is what I am trying to achieve this year. I track all of my goals publicly on my blog and give updates of how I'm doing. So this is nothing new to me to share this. But I always recommend that you only have one main goal. So you can see here that I've put my main goal is to create $1 million. I'm working on creating $1 million in 1 year in any 12-month period. So obviously, ideally it's this year, but if it's not this year, it'll be the next 12-month period after that, whatever month that is. And I recommend you just pick one main goal because that's going to really help you get clear on what actually matters and what your priorities are. But I have other goals in here as well, say performing in a salsa performance, which I have coming up in August. So how it works is for each of my goals, I open them up and I have got a plan. I teach how to create amazing plans for achieving your goals inside my membership, Get It Done. But these are just a general idea of how you can plan in here, just putting a list of things that you need to do to achieve it. So for this one, I have already checked off the first 2 steps. The last one is just to perform because we are already in training. So hopefully I'm going to achieve that soon and be able to check this one off as complete in the progress. So that is how I manage each of the goals. Now, I will say with the one main goal, you really want to make sure that that one main goal stretches you. I call this an impossible goal, the one that you don't know how to achieve yet. And then all of the rest of my goals are goals where I know exactly how to achieve them. I just have to keep showing up and doing them. So they're not taking away from my main goal, which is the one that I'm really having to work hard to figure out how do I actually make this happen. So you can create a new goal just by clicking on new there, and you can put a little photo just in there, which is how it will pop up as a little photo, and then put in your plan. How are you going to achieve it? So every single week I'm coming back to all of these goals and I am asking myself, where am I at? I'm checking the plans on every single one so that I know if I'm actually moving towards them or not. Because most people just set goals at the start of the year and then never do anything about them. But every single week I'm checking every single one of these goals and my progress on it. Also, if you want to see more content like this about how to set your goals, then let me know in the comments because I would love to know what you want to see. I will share anything about my goals. I am very open. So that is checking off, reviewing the progress on the goals. Then we're going to go on to answering reset questions. And these reset questions I ask myself every week so that I am thinking not just about like how I'm going to get everything done, but truly thinking about what really matters. So this is set up to be super easy. Every week, all you do is you just click on new, then it will pop up a new template of these questions, answer them, put in a little date here, whatever the date is, and you're set and good to go. These questions are really meant for you to not just answer, but really use in the next phase when we're talking about planning as well. Okay, so that is the reset questions answered. The next thing that I do in my reviewing life section is to go to Every Dollar. Now, Every Dollar is an app that is created by Dave Ramsey, and it is so amazing. It's totally free. They're not sponsoring this video. I just love it so much. And basically what you do is you go in and you budget every single dollar that you have ahead of time, so you know where all of your money is going to go. Of course, you don't have to use Every Dollar. You can use any budgeting app, but I recommend this one because it just makes everything so easy. Whatever you do though, make sure you are reviewing your finances, because this is one of those areas that if you don't do it every week and you don't look every single week, then it starts to get scary if you're just avoiding it and you have no idea what your finances are. So make sure you review your finances as part of your weekly reset. So that is the first section done, where we have reviewed life and how it's going. The second section is to plan your week. So what I do is I like to write a list of absolutely everything to do this week. First, I'm gonna write down the life arena changes. So let's say I said I wanted to get more sleep. I'm gonna write down what time I'm gonna go to bed here. So for example, go to sleep by 11 p.m. every night. That's one of the things I wanna do. I'm gonna also put in the next steps towards my goals. So I know that coming up would be to actually perform. I might also put practice, performance. I know I also have to get my costume sorted for salsa. Right? Then I'm going to also put in anything from the reset questions that I answered. Let's say I said that my future self would be going to the gym 3 times instead of 2 times a week. So I'm going to put go to the gym 3 times. And then I'm just going to list absolutely every other thing that I can possibly think of that I might need to do. So I'm really just adding absolutely everything from the fun things to the things that I know I need to get done. All of the things, I'm just doing a big brain dump of all the stuff that needs to be done for the week. So once I have come up with absolutely everything that I'm gonna do this week, I have written out the list, I've exhausted all possibilities that I can think of. I'm gonna go back to the weekly reset page and it tells me to go and make and confirm any appointments and then schedule all of those things into a calendar. This is something I go in depth with inside my membership. I teach something called Best Friend Calendaring, where I show you exactly how I plan out my entire calendar for the week and get super organized. I would go through and just check them off as I'm putting them into my calendar, and that means they're as good as done. Even though they're not actually done, if I know they're on my calendar, because I always do what I say I'm gonna do, then it's as good as done. So I'm now gonna delete everything from here because I've already put it into my calendar, and that will be fresh for next week. So I don't have to worry about any of this for this coming week. Done. So that means I have written the list, I have made or confirmed any appointments, and then scheduled all of the actions into my calendar. That brings me to the third section, which is to get organized. This one is something I didn't used to do, but when I started doing it, it has made the hugest difference. I want to make sure that I get to inbox 0 every single day. Now, I know so many people don't do this, and they're like, oh, where's the link for this? Or I don't know what I did with your email, I can't find it. I never have that problem because I'm always I only have one page max of emails ever, and there's usually no more than 15 emails in my inbox at a time because every day I try to get back to inbox 0. But if I haven't got back by the end of the week, I'm gonna make sure I've got back to inbox 0. So that means I am filing emails, I am removing them, I am deleting them, I am unsubscribing from things. In fact, I actually did a whole video on how to manage your email in 9 minutes a week. I will leave a link in the description to that video if you wanna check it out. But that is super important to me, to make sure I get to inbox 0. Okay, so once I have got to inbox 0, I'm gonna go through and delete absolutely everything in my downloads or my desktop folder. This has been a game changer because every time I used to go and try and find something in my downloads on my desktop, it would always be so overcrowded. And now every single week, I just make sure it is completely clear and I feel so organized. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so now my desktop is completely clear. That feels so good. And now I know whenever I download anything this week or I save it to my desktop, it's just gonna be so easy for me to find. So normally at this point, I would get up and tidy my office, but because I already tidied it before I made this video, then I don't need to do that and I can just check it straight off. But that's what I would normally do. And then that brings us to the fourth section, which is to stay connected. Now, I think this is probably one of the most underrated sections, but for me, going through the people in my life and actually asking myself, am I connected to this person? Have I sent them a message? Have I had a phone call with this person? Have I seen them? Makes me feel so much closer, and I never get to have that feeling of like, oh shoot, I should contact that person, or I should mention that to this friend, because that is always organized. So I separate my friends into 3 sections. I've got the close connections that I want to talk to every single day or week, middle connections that I want to talk to monthly, and wider connections that I want to talk to quarterly or yearly. For their privacy's sake, I have removed their names, but this is where you would add their names. Now, this isn't to rank your friends. It's not saying someone's more important than another. It's just about the basis of how frequently you want to stay in touch with them. So I make sure that I have contacted all of the people in my close connections section, and if I haven't done that, I will go right now, send a text to somebody that I haven't texted in a while, or set up a time to meet or do a phone call with someone that really matters. And then I'll also look through, well, when was the last time I connected with my middle level connections or my wider connections? All right, that is it. That is how I do my weekly reset every single week. And if you have anything to add, if you've got an idea for how to do your weekly reset or something that you do, please let me know in the comments, because I always want to know. I am super nosy about everyone else's behind the scenes. I want to see your calendar. I want to see everything that you're up to planning your week. So let me know. And in the meantime, don't forget to hit subscribe, because I've got so much more content coming out just like this. So I look forward to talking with you in the next video.